Hi, I'm Donna Stewart and welcome to Q Spirit, where your questions matter. Now, during the time that I've been working as a tutor, one of the very frequent questions that students ask of me is, how do I move my mind out of the way so that it doesn't interfere with my meditation and my links with spirit? And the answer is simple. You don't. You just find ways of getting your mind to do something else. You see, it's impossible for the mind thought to stop working. And so if you're trying to fill your mind with emptying your mind, then you're filling your mind with thoughts of emptying your mind. So therefore you can see the pattern that goes on and on and on. So the more you try to empty the mind of thought, the more it will come in. What I would always say is let spirit work with your mind. It's a very valuable tool. It's where all the source of information comes from the spirit mind through to your mind. So it will be doing something. Now, in the earlier days, if you're meditating and you're practicing, you're starting in the first stages of your development, that can seem a bit of a problem, especially if your mind just won't stay still and it's going to more earthly matters rather than connecting with the spirit. Now, it's important not to fight with these thoughts because the more you tussle with them, the more they'll present themselves in your mind. So especially in the point of meditation and you're sitting, the thoughts coming, you're going off about your everyday life, your work, shopping, family, whatever, then just thank the thought for coming and let it go. Don't try and push it to one side and just allow it to move through and come back to focus. The less you resist trying to push that thought out of the way, the easier it will leave you. And also, the more you do this, the more you'll practice being able to stay on focus. So be kind to yourself. Try not to challenge yourself too much. Otherwise, it makes it a bigger issue. It's not a problem if your mind gets in the way. It's how you deal with it that matters. So just allowing that thought to move to one side and getting back on track with your meditation, etc., is the right way forward. But also, spirits sometimes want to use your mind and utilize your thoughts to get their messages across. And so it can happen that you're actually pushing away what spirits are trying to give to you. Now, this is a process that I call memory banking, and it's a process where spirit will use what you already know, what you've already experienced, so that they can present their evidence and aspects of their life. So for instance, if you have a loved one in the spirit world and you're in that energy, you're in that power, and you suddenly find yourself thinking about that person, it's very likely that it's not the relative of yours that you're thinking of, but the person in spirit is actually like someone you know or somebody you have experience of. So it's always important to try and identify that and just to give the information and see what happens. So as I said, the more you try and fight this process, the more it will come back to you. So it's about allowing and simply being. What would be really good is if there was a pocket in the brain that had spirit written on it, so that when the thought comes from that pocket, you know it's not your own mind. But it doesn't really work like that. So what I would say is that, again, in meditation, if those thoughts start to come in, if your mind starts to wander, just let it be and come back to the focus. And if your own mind seems to come in when spirit are communicating with you, then it's really worth looking at what that information is and what they might be trying to tell you. I have a phrase, and I think it's very appropriate, is mediumship, it's all in your mind. And it really is, because that is the main tool that is being used for communication. So do experiment with it and test it. And if you're not sure, you can always try and push the thought away or change it. And if that is a spirit thought, it will come back to you. It will represent itself in its original form, or it will come back to you slightly differently because the spirit will want you to have that thought. So it's all about building up the trust. So try these techniques and just see how you get on, and hopefully it will just make it a little less painful for you to worry about emptying your mind, because you can't. And mediumship really is all in your mind. So good luck with that. Give that a try. Don't forget, work with what's being given to you during the time that you're sitting for spirit, and you'll soon find that spirit are working well as a team with you. And do you know what? If you get it wrong, it doesn't matter. You can always go back and try again. And that's the important thing. So I hope this has been helpful. Good luck. keep trying. So if you have a question for me, please email me on info@donnastewart.net and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can in this space here. So thank you for joining me for Q Spirit.